Namaste children, I hope you all are fine. So today we will start the next chapter, that is biotechnology, principles and processes. So what is actually biotechnology? Biotechnology means that in which microorganisms, plant cells and animal cells that are used for producing the various products, enzymes and hormones for the beneficial of human beings, which are used by the human beings. Okay. Now, actually, what is the need for biotechnology and what are the advantages of the biotechnology? Biotechnology, it helps in providing the vaccines, okay, like DNA vaccines. It has a role in genetic engineering. It has a role in vitro technology and in producing the transgenic animals, transgenic plants, even in the breeding technology. So in most of the technologies and in most of the fields, biotechnology is used. Now let's discuss about the core techniques which develop the modern biotechnology. There are two core techniques which developed biotechnology. Which developed the modern biotechnology. So first is genetic engineering. First is genetic engineering and second is sterilization. Means these are the two techniques which developed the biotechnology, and the biotechnology is now these days it is known as modern biotechnology. And like first case, that is the genetic engineering. Now what is the genetic engineering? Genetic engineering means that the gene of one organism, it is transferred to any another organism. Okay, means one gene, which is the desired gene, it is isolated from one organism and then it is transferred to the another organism to get the desired characters. And the second technique, that is the sterilization methods, providing for developing the desired microorganisms and eliminating the undesired microorganisms or the cells, so that the particular conditions that will be provided for only the desired microorganisms to grow, and so that the products that we will get from that microorganisms, they are used for producing the antibiotics, for producing the vaccines, enzymes, etc. Now let's discuss that what is the need for genetic engineering in case of plants. In case of plants, like we have done that the traditional breeding method. So when traditional breeding method will be there, then what happen that with the desired genes, the undesirable genes, they will also come in the offspring. Okay, means in the new crop, the hybrid crop. Then what happen that the undesirable characters, they will also come in the plants. But by the help of the genetic engineering, what happened that only the desired genes, they will accumulate in the body of the organism, the new crop. Okay, means only the desired, means it is possible that only the desired genes, they will accumulate, and there will be the elimination of the undesirable genes. As what happened in case of genetic engineering, means the gene from one organism that is isolated and then it is transferred to the next organism. Okay, and how does it happens? This technique that is known as recombinant DNA. Now in this case what happened, that a gene that is isolated from one organism, gene isolated, this is a desirable gene. Okay, the person, the organism having the desirable gene from that organism, this gene that is isolated, and then it is linked with the genetic material of the another organism. Okay, this is suppose the second organism, this is second organism, and this is the first organism. This is the basic, means first gene that is isolated and it is linked with the genetic material of the another organism, and it is mainly linked with the origin of replication reason. It is linked with the origin of replication reason. Suppose this is the desirable gene. This desirable gene, it is linked with the origin of replication reason of the chromosome part which is present in the second organism. Because this desirable gene means this foreign gene, it will not replicate by its own. It needs the origin of replication. Okay, so that's why this foreign gene that is linked, it should be linked with the origin of replication reason of the host organism. Now what happened, that this host organism, it is now having the foreign gene, and this foreign gene, it is used the mechanism of the host cell machinery, and then it will replicate and produces its own copies, and then this gene, it is transcribed, it is translated, and then it produces the proteins or the enzymes or hormones, means according to the gene it will produce, because gene, it contains the information for the production of the proteins or enzymes. Okay, so in this manner, that when these proteins or enzymes that are produced, then these are extracted from the body of these organisms. Okay, means when these are produced, then they are extracted from these organisms, and these are used for the human welfare. Okay, so now this is the basis, and now if suppose I will take an example of the E. coli bacteria, that this is E. coli bacteria. Okay, and E. coli bacteria, it contain the plasmid resin. Okay, now this plasmid resin that is isolated from the E. coli bacteria, and a small part of the DNA that is removed, and in that portion the foreign gene that is introduced. Okay, now again this plasmid, it is inserted back in the E. coli bacteria. So now what happened, that this foreign gene, it will use the host cell machinery, okay, means the origin of replication, the genome cell machinery, to produce its copies. Okay, and then it will produce its own copies here, and from the E. coli then we are able to get the desired product. So here having the foreign gene, this is the foreign gene, and this portion that is the plasmid resin here. Okay, this is the plasmid DNA. So together they are known as recombinant DNA. They are known as recombinant DNA. Okay, and plasmid DNA, it is acting as a vector here. It is acting as a vector here. Why it is acting as a vector here? Because it is carrying the foreign gene, and it transferred the foreign gene to the cell for producing the multiple copies of that gene. Okay, so this in this manner, that how a gene produces multiple copies of the product. So now let's discuss that whatever we have done till now, that what is actually recombinant DNA. Recombinant DNA, it includes the foreign gene as well as the vector. Okay, now vector, what is the function of the vector here? Like in the disease chapter you have done, that vector, it carries the pathogen from one organism to the another organism. Similarly, here vector, it carries the foreign gene and it transfers it to the host cell. Clear? Means it transfers the foreign gene into the host cell, where in the host cell it produces its own copies, multiple copies. So this is all about recombinant DNA. Now we will discuss about the first recombinant DNA, which was developed by Stanley Cohen and Herbert Boyd in 1972. And this recombinant DNA, it was produced on the basis of isolation of the gene which shows resistance against the antibiotics. Okay, now what do you mean by this? That antibiotic resistance. Antibiotic resistance means that they resist, means even if suppose they are present in the antibiotic medium, then these bacteria, they will not die. And why they will not die? Because they are having the genes. So any bacteria having the gene which shows the antibiotic resistance property, it means that those bacteria, they will die, they will not die in the antibiotic medium if they have that particular gene. So what they have done, that first they took the Salmonella typhimurium bacteria and then they isolated the plasmid. Okay, now what is plasmid? Plasmid, that is an extra chromosomal DNA. So they took the plasmid. Okay, and this plasmid, that contain a gene which shows resistance against the antibiotics. Okay, now what actually the scientists, they did at that time, they cut this gene with the help of the restriction enzyme, with the help of restriction enzyme. Okay, so they isolated the gene with the help of the restriction enzyme. Okay, now what is actually restriction enzymes? Restriction enzymes, they make cut at the particular locations in the DNA. So that's why they are also known as the molecular scissors. So when they isolated this gene from the plasmid which shows resistance against the antibiotics, then they transfer this foreign gene into a plasmid, means they join this foreign gene with the plasmid DNA. Okay, and that plasmid they isolated from the E. coli. Means first they isolated the plasmid from the E. coli and then they inserted this foreign gene into this plasmid DNA. Okay, and now this plasmid DNA having the foreign gene, it will become the recombinant DNA. It will become recombinant DNA having two DNAs, one that is the foreign DNA and one that is the plasmid DNA. Okay, and I told you that plasmid DNA, they are also known as vectors because they transfer the foreign gene into the host organism. So now this plasmid DNA plus foreign gene, they are known as recombinant DNA, also known as rDNA. This is the short form of this recombinant DNA. Now this will be transferred to the E. coli. This plasmid means rDNA. It will be transferred to the E. coli bacterium. Okay, and this foreign gene, using the plasmid DNA replicate and produce multiple copies of it. Produce multiple copies means many copies of this gene it will be produced, and then when many copies of the gene that will be produced, then it will be isolated from the organism. So these are the steps. Means first the foreign gene, the desired gene, that should be isolated, then it should be linked with the plasmid DNA, and one more thing, that how this foreign gene it will be linked with the plasmid DNA by the help of the DNA ligase. DNA ligase, it joins the foreign gene with the plasmid DNA, and then after that the transformation of this recombinant DNA into the host organism, where it will produce multiple copies, and producing multiple copies, this is known as the cloning process.